My name is Jeremy Squire. I'm the UK Managing Director for FLS Fast, Lean, Smart. We're here today to talk about scheduling, and I've been in this scheduling world for 23 years. So I live and breathe it. Have done for many years. So first of all, who are FLS Fast, Lean, Smart? Hopefully some of you would have heard of us. More than 30 years experience. This is what we do. Live and breathe it. We deliver the most accurate scheduling, and I'll talk a little bit more about that today. Traffic-based route optimization. Although we still consider ourselves quite new to the market, we've actually already got more than 1 million homes in the UK and Europe being having their maintenance team, repairs team, and others scheduled using our technology. We do an annual survey, and we got an average of 9.6 out of 10 for our questions. I'm pleased to share some more about another time. Here's a selection of some of our customers. Our latest new ones are, we've just won a DLO with over 600 operatives and a contractor with over 500. So we work with a range though. So Home Repair Network have got 60 resources, for example. Home Rescue, a similar sort of size. We also come to the table with multi-sector expertise. So although we live and breathe housing on a daily basis, and I've hired people into my team who have got 15, 20 years experience specifically in social housing, we also bring to the table wider market experience, which we can bring to the sector. So UK housing market, I think you know this already. I'm not going to spend hours on it. It's got challenges in every direction, and that's both demand for repairs, the void turnaround times, damp and mold has been had a big impact, and increasingly compliance inspections. And overall, we can summarize to say that there's a skill shortage in order to try and hire new people. Retention is really critical, and basically there's not enough money to do everything that you want to do. So what you need to do is you need to make best use of your field force. Your field force is, if you've got a DLO in particular, is probably one of your highest costs, and it's also one of your highest outputs for CO2. So worth bearing in mind there as well. So our recommendation would be you invest in technology to ensure your efficient service delivery. I don't think anybody could disagree with that. We believe it's a good plan to remote monitor, so that you can do more planned activities than reactive. You need more skills in the back office to try and understand the faults as they come in. Use technology potentially to triage and diagnose issues before you actually go out and visit, so you can minimize the number of visits. And then lastly, we think that you should use the data that is available to you to fully analyze the maintenance trends, and therefore you can plan for the future. So what we bring to the table is FLS Visitor. It's a single solution that can manage all of your field teams. It's a real-time optimization tool, which the term that's used very frequently in housing is dynamic. So it's got ability to react in real time as the day unfolds. There aren't many of these types of technologies in the world. For very largest software companies, so your Oracle, your Salesforce, your Microsoft, not one of them has managed to, SAP, not one of them has managed to create their own scheduling tool like this. So they either partner with somebody or they acquire them. And we are the partner for a number of those companies. We can't deliver our solutions on our own. We work in partnership, and all of these companies that I show on the screen here will recommend FLS as a solution. So hopefully that gives us a bit of credibility in the room now. And if, for example, you go to MRI and you've got their repair solution, then they've got a pre-built integration which they can deploy to you as part of a license. Scheduling is a big challenge. I think anybody that's here on the call that's been involved with managing the field force, managing the work that needs to be completed, will know that there's so many different parameters, so many different considerations. And if you've just got yourself 50, 100 resources, then there's literally billions of possible combinations of how you might go about it. So that is the type of challenge that really needs to be addressed using technology. With our solution, we take into account all the constraints that you could possibly imagine, bring them in and enable you to have your prerogatives around minimum cost, employee satisfaction. So that would be get them home on time, give them a balanced workload, and customer satisfaction. So how quickly you can react, who to prioritize. And we're a cost-based solution, so it's very easy for you to understand why is the decision being made to do this type of route optimization. Why is the decision being made for this route? If you can't explain that, then you will find that your operatives will be coming to your planners and saying, why is he giving me a job to go, well, I've got to drive past Bob's house. And before you know it, people are overriding it and manually fixing jobs. And manually overriding is really the enemy of scheduling and your efficiency. So here's an example. Now it's countrywide. Of course, nobody here will be countrywide, but it's just an example. Real life, where somebody gave us the work that they'd done and they traveled 7,000 miles, and here was the cost. And they had lots of overtime as well as the long journeys. By putting it through our scheduling solution, we can remove all overtime. We can increase the amount of available capacity and reduce their cost by half. But more importantly, for the world that you're in, we can make better use of the resources so you can do more tasks. So how does it work? I just want to give 2 examples here. So this is real-time optimization. And in this example, we've got 3 operatives on the left-hand side there in the gold. We've got somebody that's only got 2 jobs. The other 2 have got 3 jobs. And just for simplicity, we're going to say you can only do 3 jobs a day. A new appointment comes in here. And if you've got a solution which is using what you call white space filling, then it's going to say, I can't do the job because the guy that's in orange over there is too far away and the 2 here are full. If you use dynamic optimization, so as you're booking the appointment in real time, it's optimizing all of your tasks at the same time, it will actually find that you can move those tasks, and turns out that this is actually the best day to do the job. And therefore it will calculate the cost as being most efficient and guide the customer to that appointment. Here's another example where road speeds really come in. And we believe that road speeds are absolutely critical to this success of a solution. And often we've replaced solutions where the operatives have been working in London particularly, and standard road speeds are just a waste of time because the traffic is such that, particularly in rush hour and different times of the day, but it makes every appointment that you calculate, it makes it unable to be achieved. And then you have your operatives push back on you and you end up fixing all your jobs. So this is often a reason why we're replacing existing software. So in this example here, if I was to ignore the fact that there was rush hour traffic, then my route would be the 1, 2, 3 like you see on the screen. But here's another example where actually it might appear that it's going to be a longer route, but because we bypass that rush hour traffic, we can actually have time for an additional appointment in the day. And this is the true value that FLS with our advanced technology bring to the table. So why should you trust us? We've got so many example customers that we can refer you to, many of which have achieved dramatic savings. One in housing example achieved 32% productivity improvement. Now, it's not all about productivity, of course, it's about closure of work and getting to the right ones. However, they did, and if you've got yourself 150 resources, that's equivalent to having 50 more for free. And I don't think there's any better way than through this technology that you can achieve such gains. I would like to highlight, though, it's not all just about the technology. It's about how you implement it. So integration is really key, getting the right data. Don't overblow it. Keep to a basic solution to begin and build up. Make sure that you challenge the way you've done things before and consider how the technology is an enabler, but it's not a silver bullet. So no time for a live demonstration, but what's next? So what's next is that we can offer you a scheduling test. We'll take your data, how you scheduled work, and we'll show you how we would have done. And that will immediately be enlightening for you. And you probably think you're over capacity, but we'll show you how actually you've got lumps and you've got more resources than you think you have. We can do a scoping workshop where we sit down with you and we talk through how you're working, how you might benefit from this in the future. Obviously, no cost to any of this. And then we can do a true proof of value, which enables you to take this to your finance director. Here's an example of doing a scheduling test where we've taken your tasks, how you did it, how much time was taken, how many miles, what the capacity was, to what extent you would adhere to your appointments. Then we'll show how we would do it using your resources with their availability, their skills, all those sorts of elements. And we'll show you what the advantage would have been. And then thirdly, how about if we were to choose the appointment? Now that won't happen every time that the customer would agree to that, but you know, it will be somewhere in between. Your opportunity is somewhere in between test 1 and 2, and we can give you firm validation before you make any consideration of investment. That was it.
Thanks, Jeremy, for that. That's really very, very interesting. Well, please feel free to post some questions on the chat. Thank you, that would be great. Well, while I wait for any questions to come through, I've had quite a few questions myself, Jeremy. I'm just wondering, I speak to loads of exec directors who look after homes, and some of them all tell me, oh, they've got this, or they've got this sort of thing already. So just highlight again why this is different from the things that you can switch on in the existing products we already have in the market in housing.
Okay, so every single housing management system, every CRM, every repair system has a degree of scheduling in there. And if you've got 20 resources and then you break those down to plumbers and electricians and carpenters, and it's not that much of a scheduling challenge. And I would really recommend keep with that solution. However, if you've got 75, 100, 200, 300 resources, then the opportunity is really great with this. And therefore the approach of upgrading what you've got, and we've got plugins to several of the main systems. If you upgrade, then your opportunity is dramatic, and we'd recommend you at least take a look at it.
Thank you. Great. So how do you sort of manage those day-to-day challenges? I know as someone who have run my own DLO in the past, oh gosh, someone doesn't turn up for work, something happens, they go off sick. How easy and quick is it sort of just to reschedule things? Because I know that the people end up suffering most of the other residents who are waiting at home for the repair.
Right. So this is a case of priority. From a system perspective, we can re-optimize in a split second, literally less than a second. We can re-optimize the work, but we have priorities and we have confirmed appointments. So often if somebody goes sick, you're already full up. Unless you've got what you might call filler jobs, then you've got confirmed appointments with every one of your customers. So we provide a tool which enables you to say, okay, I can't do this, but if I was to do this and give it to each one of the resources, what would be the impact? And so therefore you can see, do I need to extend the working hours? Do I need to be late? Alternative to that is if you've got lower priority tasks, then within that split second, then they would have been reorganized so that the priority ones were being done.
Yeah, some good questions coming in here, so I'll just read them out for you. James has asked, can it schedule multiple day jobs? I'm not quite sure what exactly I'm just trying to think what that might mean, multiple day jobs. Do you know?
Yes. Yes. So if you're doing a repair, then typically that wouldn't be a multiple day job. However, if you're doing a larger piece of work, then we have ability to take a task which has been calculated to, I don't know, 2.5 days, let's say for 16 hours, and the solution will automatically split it up across multiple resources, and also it will cost one resource over multiple days, taking into account their travel time, breaks, and all those sorts of things. And also, we can also do multiple tasks where you have more than one needs to be done at the same time or one after the other. And that's all part of the optimization that we need to do often when we're doing something like a small works or a void.
Excellent, thanks. And then a question regarding the breadth, I think, of your offer is whether you can manage your void works through there as well.
Yes, we can, but we work in combination with a back office solution. So we see this as a process. And for example, with one customer, they use FLS. We have a mobile solution. I've spoken about our scheduling today. And we have a mobile job management solution as well. And we can build, for example, within there, the process for a surveyor to go to the site and capture what tasks they need to do as part of that void. And then that will capture that and bring it back. And therefore it's scheduled, it then sits within the CRM housing management system. And then it's scheduled using FLS Visitor. But then the surveyor can go out at a later stage and check the progress and make changes as well. So we've built that process with customers, and it really depends on the case by case, but that's a good use case.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have a mobile solution that the operatives can use from their end?
We do. We see it as optional, so it depends on who we're working with, because we need to work in partnership with the back office provider. So if you're using dynamic CRM, let's say, then perhaps that would be the most suitable mobile solution to use. If you're using MRI repairs, then they have a mobile solution as well. If I give you an example where your housing group is a good example, where actually the work is generated by both MRI repairs and by dynamic CRM, and they didn't want to have all the data in the same place, so therefore it made sense for us to be the mobile, and the sources of the work is from both of those systems.
Cool. Thanks for explaining that. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and you can relax now, Jeremy, and I can see what else we have installed. Thanks for your presentation.